You just have to ask it nicer. And yell at it. It's like, I'm not doing it.
Join us as we traverse through time and space.
And another episode of whatever this is.
I'm Batman.
Oh, it did it.
Good.
Hey, thanks GoPro. You're the best. All right, so here we are. We are in Cambridge, New York. And this is, oh, funny. Somebody left their glasses. Looks like a nose. Oh, and some change. Anyway, this is the old Turnpike graveyard. 1756. And here, buried here are 40 Revolutionary soldiers and veterans of other wars. And this was erected in 1976. For our 200th birthday. Here we are coming up on our 250th. And this cemetery is on what we call the Turnpike now, but it's all the old colonial road, and it goes all the way. Well, it's a war road. It connects with what then starts to be, well, connects into State 22, which runs all the way down state and beyond. I'm not sure how far it goes, but you can follow it for quite a ways. Anyway, and it goes north up into Ticonderoga, and maybe further on. I'd have to look at a map. But it's the old war road, and this was the route that the soldiers took. So when they came from, the soldiers, British soldiers were coming down from Ticonderoga, and they got stuck in the mud, basically, in Walloomsac, which is the Battle of Bennington. Anyway, riders were dispatched over here to Cambridge, just south of here, in an old log cabin. It's a beautiful stone. 34. Oh, it's signed. You don't often see that. Be cools. Hey, take their advice. Anyway, long story short, riders rode on and got out to Easton, and then sent the signal over to the battlefield in Stillwater, and that's how the Americans got the jump on the British, and they passed right through here, which is pretty neat. So this is a really neat old cemetery. It's there are lots of veterans in here, but one thing that's happening is it has this moss, I guess, or a lichen. I don't like to touch it because I'm afraid I might transmit it to something else in here that doesn't already have it on it. But it's really very orange. I mean, it's pretty in a way, but also I'm thinking fairly destructive, and that's what worries me. All right, this is Agnes, wife of Robert Oliver, and she died February 17th, 1825. 80 years old. That's a good ripe age. All right, so in this cemetery, like many that I go to, I'm always looking for the stones that have the soul effigies on it. These that we're passing by, these are, I call them urnies, but they're the urn style, willow style, because they mostly have willows in them and an urn. And this is the typical shape. I mean, just I pull back, you can see this whole cemetery is full of that shape. And anyway, that shape became popular in the early 1800s. So before that shape happened, my favorite shape happened, and that is of the Carvers Arabable Collins. And so here's one. And I know it from behind because of the clover shape. And look, there's the footstone. We got moved up with the headstone, I'm assuming, so I didn't have to mow around it. But yeah, look, very much obscured with the moss. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Huh. Here's another one over here under this gigundous tree. There's another one. Let's see if I can read it. Oh. It helps to put my glasses on, for crying out loud. Joseph Gavin, son of Mr. Don't know, and Mrs. Ann Culver, died January 4th in 1780 in the second year of his age. Now in my youth and early prime, my days are gone and past my time. Friends and relations do not mourn, and the rest is down in the grass. And there you are, a little baby face. Anyway, there's other better ones. Let's go find them. All right, whew, a bug in my mouth. All right, here we go. Yep. Ooh, he's got a good spooky eye on him. Just look at him, looking right back at you. And this one has that orangey moss, and also there's that light green, I don't know if it's called reindeer lichen, I don't know. Anyway, here's a good one right over here. Look at this. Oh, in memory of Susanna. So, ooh, we're gonna have to go this way. Look at the puss. Holy smokes. Oh, died 1776. 21 years of her age. Mrs. Susanna. She was a consort of Mr. William. Okay, and one so clean. And look, this one is so covered. So covered with moss, but there's that face. And that shape, this is that shape. That clover shape. That was really, this was really more like Zerubbabel. Yeah, 1788. I can make that out. And he always had these big, wide sides carved out. That intense look and that apple chin. Ah, scary. All right, and then right next door, look at that. This is a beautiful example of a Zerubbabel. Holy smokes. Oh, and oh my Lord. Wait till you see what's next. This one you could even almost see like eyebrows. Look at that. Anyway, expertly carved master carver. He had a quarry in Shaftesbury, Vermont, and in Shaftesbury Cemetery he is buried. All right, this is in memory of Mr. William M. Altley, who died August 27th, 1778, in the 60th year of his age. And it's also Mrs. Mary McNulty. McNulty is kind of how it sounds, who died December 8th, 1803. And she lived to be 86. That's a good lot of years. But this is a classic Zerubbabel, the big wide cabinet style, the tableau, the face, the clover ears, and that apple chin. But then right over the shoulder, look at this. Oh, now these are the children of Mr. William and Mary Margaret McNulty. And these were, let's see, Thomas, two sons, Thomas, who died October 24th in 1794. Age, I think it says, I don't know how many years. and 4 months, and William, who died the same day, aged 5 years. You see that hiding down in there? Huh. Diz. I don't know what that means. But look at that. Double headstone. Now, just because of the year that this was carved, and would have been after the year, I guess. I don't know that you would carve this ahead of time. This is most likely a James. And James had this simpler shoulder. And this is a double. Oh, there's so many. Look at this one. James also liked to do memento mori on the top of his. All right, let's get back here and check some stuff out before I get completely distracted. You see these big trees. And look at this guy hanging by a thread. Not much left. Nothing to be said. Nothing to be read. And it's a shame. That's why it's important to see these while you can, while they're still together, because they go into the ground real fast. Ooh, what's over here? Well, look at this. Well, this is interesting, sitting back here by its little lonesome. What is it? What is it? William Edward, only son of... I don't know. Somebody Smith. William Edward Smith, the only son of somebody, and died July 1st, 1851. But it's all kind of done up like that. Huh. Don't know. Interesting. Anyway, here's some clover-shaped ears, I always say. I call them ears. They look like ears. That's the shape I look for when I'm looking for old cemeteries. Oh, this is Mary. And she is the daughter of Mr. I don't know. Mary. The mother's name was Mary. Another possible James. This is another one with a lot of that moss on top. Oh, there's a memento mori. And the face. And the lovely carving. I love the flowers. They're so pretty. Anyhow. There's one more over here under this tree, and then we're going to make our way back to the other side of the cemetery. This is kind of a short and wide cemetery, so it's kind of hard to find all the spots, see all the things. All right, a couple things over here. We've got a couple more faces, and we've got some really good examples of Collins carvers. Now, look at this. This is a neat one. This is the urn style stone, like we were talking about before, but look, up in the, that's a little James, we call it a drop wing. That chin wing, classic James. And that's for Mr. Patrick McGill, who died February 20th, 1805, and he was 83. Revolutionary War soldier, right there. Can you see it? I hope you can. And there's the flag, and thank you so much. And right next door, memory of Mrs. Esther McGill. She died 1797. Look at that. And that was probably a James, based on the year. All right, couple more back in here. And then we'll go back on the other side. Oh, I just always see one more I like. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. I just love stones. And these are my favorite. Okay, 1799. In memory of Mrs. Nicole McClellan, who died October 11th, 1799, and she was 67 years old. Remember me as you pass by, as you are now, so once was I. As I am now, so you will be. Prepare for death and follow me. There's this cheery note. And then right over here we have another Revolutionary War soldier. Another beautiful stone and a great face. And this is in memory of Mr. James Thompson, who died October the 3rd in 1794. And he was 74 years old. So if he was 74 in 1794. All right, so we'll just take off, say 20 years. Do the math. He was in his 50s in the war. Well, I'm in my 50s. I don't think I could handle being at war. Look at that. That's a beautiful example. The urn style up on top. So pretty, so crisp. So they had the urns and the drapes, and also the other common carving in this time period is also a willow tree. That's a nice example. And these guys over here under the maple tree are surviving well. Anyway, here we go. Oh, I was supposed to stop saying anyway. All right, here we go. Ooh, the Reverend John Dunlap, who parted this life on the 4th of July, 1792. Aged, well, it can't be 5. Aged 5 months and 4 days. Oh, the daughter of, in memory of Catherine, the daughter of the Reverend John Dunlap. Gracious. And then Memento Mori up on top. Got to read all the information. Don't jump to conclusions. Usually gets you in trouble. So you can see that all the footstones here are propped up against the headstones now. I'm not sure when that went out of fashion, having the footstone. We often debate that question. All right, so we're going to head on over here and see what we can find. There's some other fine examples of stones. I'm not sure if there's any hands reaching up. Oh, I see some zinkers. Good old zinkers. They never fail. All right, let's go right up here on the hill. It's a nice little monument. Ah, the cemetery is full of wild strawberries. And this is in memory, memoriam, to the early unknown dead. 1890, that was erected. A peaceful spot up here tucked into the woods. Okay. All right, let's head on back down here. And you can see lots of stones. One kind of style of stone I don't see here, which you see them in most cemeteries, is something from the Sears catalog. So those usually start appearing, early 1800s. So this cemetery has not been used for a long time. Let's go check out these zinkers. 3 in a row. Oh, what's going on over there? Anyway, Joseph Archer of Jackson, which is a neighboring town, erected in the memory of, who died November 18, 1881, 73 years old. And then here we are for John Archer, also of Jackson, departed this life 1881, and March 19th, 66. Here lie the mortal remains of a man who was upright in life and a kind neighbor and a true faithful friend. Well, John Archer. And then we have Elizabeth Archer, and she died in September on the 5th, 1885, and she was 73 years old. Well, she wasn't as nice as John, I guess. But all beautiful old zinkers, which are fun. Caught my eye on my way over here was this. Oh, we got a woodchuck living under the tree, or what's going on, but I'm not going to investigate too much further than that. All right. Let's head on over here and check this guy out. Well, let's see. These big guys, these are fun. Sorry, bug. 1837. This person was 80. Lydia. 1841. Yeah, still hard to read. That moss doesn't help much. Right, we got a little face. Somebody Wordsworth. Died in 1789. December 8th. No, there's a couple in there. Another date below it. Hear that rooster crowing? Okay. We have lots of flags up for the 4th of July. That's a mossy bugger. Look at that. But on the other side we have, ooh, this is Mr. Timothy Wells, the eldest son of Captain Joseph and Mrs. Thankful Wells, was killed in an instant by the fall of timber at the railing of a large building, the 18th day of October, 1784, in the 28th year of his age. In the dark, oh, that's hard to read. Wow. Huh. Terrible. Killed in an instant. Not that I enjoy death or the concept thereof. Oh, that's an interesting style there. It's always kind of interesting to hear how a person died. Even just to have some information helps me. All right, these guys are being lost to lost in nature. Now here's something interesting. Okay, so I've been blathering on, and one thing I blather on is about this shape. All right, and usually you would see a face looking back at you, but no. Oh, you got an urn in a willow. Chose the one thing needful. Mrs. Rebecca, the consort to Mr. George Barber, paid the last debt of nature on the 6th of January 1804, and she was 44 years old. The messenger has laid my body low. Be not something, yours must be so. And the blood of something, Christ, I think, the blood of Christ that smoothed the way. Come, come, my friend, prepare to follow me. Okay. And then here's another, look at that. That's a beautiful stone. Mrs. Lydia Barber. Now she's the amiable consort of Mr. George Barber, who finished an exemplary life on the 28th of April in 1784, in the 37th year of her age. Huh, that's really cool. Let's take a closer look. The beautiful stone. Not only the amiable consort, but she had an exemplary life. Well, those two George's wives, and here's George, right here. Oh, it's a deacon, memory of Deacon George Barber, who departed this life June 14th, 1832, in the 79th year of his age. So he outlived two women. One died at 44. 28. Well, I'd have to do the math, and you know what? I just can't right now. I got bugs flying up my nose. Anyway, here we go. I'm supposed to stop saying that. Look at that moss. Moss, moss, moss. Everywhere moss. All right, let's see over here. Let's finish this tour up. All right. We got some more Collins Carvers here. John McCool. And then over here. Oh, I have pine pitch in my hair. Not sure who this is. Look at that. The face is flecked away, but there is a face under it. Look at that. You see it peeking out? And then how that's flaked away. Can you? I don't want to touch it because it'll flake more. Oh. Okay. Neat. Whew. Alrighty. Oh, and look at this one. Memento Mori. Just covered. Alright. Well, there you have it. Great old cemetery. Come and check it out for yourself. Cambridge, New York, Southern Washington County, on the Turnpike, Old War Road. And this is Sarah Gone Rogue. Over and out. Remember, don't knock anything over.
Ooh, and replace your divots.
Yikes.